Alright guys, here's stuff I picked up over the last 3 weeks. Came from various places. First up we have a used DVD of the movie Super. This is a IFC film. It stars Ellen Page, Rannen Wilson, Liv Tyler, Kevin Bacon, and it's kind of like a low-budget kick-ass that out-kicks ass, if you keep that in mind. Very cool movie. Got that for $3. Alright, so found a warehouse that's going out of business. They just had all kinds of stuff in a place called Hillsville, Virginia. And the kicker was, as I was walking around, I asked the owner if he had any comic books. Turns out he said that just a few days before, somebody had come in and bought a whole box of comic books from him, probably about $1 a piece. And he said that every one of them in the bag, they were labeled $8 to $10 a piece, so there's no telling what he got. But I found these for $1. These are audio cassettes, books on audio, and these are the Roger Zelazny Amber series on cassette, read by Roger Zelazny. And I don't know a whole lot about them, but basically Amber is the true world and all other worlds are shadows of this world, including Earth. And apparently there are it's a whole series of books that came out in the 80s, and I just remember that when every time a paperback came out, you know, all the people that were in the paperbacks would get all excited and giddy and stuff, and they would kind of, you know, argue pettily, you know, real petty-like over whose books were whose in this series. So this is the first book of the Amber series, 9 Princes of Amber. Another book, this is Trumps of Doom. Looks like it's about wizards and demons and whatnot. Okay. Prince of Chaos, the conclusion, apparently, of the Amber novels, the last one. Do a little research on this. And the Guns of Avalon. Apparently they're out of order. Looks like a little demon on there. Play some Uriah Heep and Led Zeppelin while I'm listening to him at the same time. Alright, found a bookstore in a place called Sparta, North Carolina. And all these paperbacks I got, they were 3 for $1. And then I got a hardback back here. That was 50 cents. So it came to $3.50. Okay. This is a Doctor Who novel, Terminus. Okay, looking real forward to reading that. Edge of Destruction. Looks like it's with the first original Doctor. What would this be? The 4, 5, 6, the 7th Doctor, I believe. What was that? Sylvester McCoy. Very cool. Whoops. Okay, now I don't know if anybody knows anything about Remo Williams. Okay, but they had a movie called, you know, Remo Williams, based on the Destroyer series. I don't know if it was the late 80s, early 90s. Marvel put out a series of black and white magazines based on this. It's what it is that it's a assassination team that only the presidents know about, and they recruit Chun, who's the master of Shinanju, which is the sun source of all martial arts. And basically all martial arts are like rays of light coming off of the source. And Chun trains an American, Remo, who basically they were a cop, or that they framed and faked his death, gave him plastic surgery, changed his fingerprints and stuff, and pretty much handed him to Chun to train as America's personal assassin. This series started in the very early 70s, like this is book 7, and this is from 1974 or 73. Awesome series of books. This is number 7, Union Bust. Okay. This is number 66, Sue Me. And I believe this is from like 87, 88, around that time. And number 73, Line of Succession. And these went up into the hundreds, okay? This is pretty cool. I should have saved this for last. This came out in the mid-90s. The Ultimate Silver Surfer. Stan Lee edited this. And these are all new Silver Surfer stories. And each chapter of these stories comes with a new picture of the Silver Surfer, Has an introduction by Stan Lee, and they tell the origin. Tom DeFalco wrote this with an illustration by John Buscema. Then you have the a chapter by Lynn Wine with a little page from illustration by George Perez. Who else do we have on here? Paul Ryan, Scott Eaton, Amanda Connor all provided sketches. Michael Avon Fleming, way before he was famous on Powers. Ron Friends, Gary Frank, and all kinds of different authors like Don Pearson's, Catherine Lewis, Lawrence, Craig Shaw Gardner, So there you go. Very cool. Alright, number 9 of a Star Trek series. This is from 1973. No idea what it's about yet. Okay, Philip Jose Farmer. I believe this is book 2 of 4, if I remember right, of his Waterworld series. This is the Fabulous Riverboat. If you don't know what the Waterworld series is, you might basically everybody who has ever lived is there. When you die, you wake up here. And this book follows characters like Sam Clemens, who was Mark Twain, a blood brother who's once a Neanderthal, and he goes on a quest with a few other people from history. So that's good stuff. Here, and this was 50 cents. This is 1980. The last book of the Waterworld series, The Magic Labyrinth. Philip Jose Farmer is one of my favorite authors. Now we get to the comic books. This is over the last 3 weeks. Ozymandias number 2. I don't think I've shown that one before. Okay, here we go. Rorschach number 1. Dr. Manhattan number 1. Okay. This is Thunder number 1. I got this because it's from Dynamite. I got this because this is a Frank Frazetta creation, and honestly I thought this was just poorly written, besides having all kinds of dinosaurs and action in it and stuff, but the dialogue and everything's just awful. It's like he can't think enough to talk, and we can hear in his head, and it's just he can't even put together a sentence, and he's trying to survive and everything. And I just did the yesterday versus yesteryear comic or videos last week, and this is the perfect example because this is the first chapter of today, but then they turn around and they reprint the first story from the 50s by Gardner Fox and Frank Frazetta. And this story is so much better put together and narrated. It's the same story, more or less. Dinosaurs, cavemen, pterodactyls. Pretty much the first 3 pages has more action than the whole story that we just read. Just great stuff. Very Turok-like. Very Tarzan and Turok. You know the influences. Very Betty Page-like. So, pretty good. Alright. Finally found some missing issues of Kirby I needed. Number 6. Kirby Genesis. Kurt Busiek, Alex Ross. Great stuff. Number 7. So now I just need number 5 and number 8. And I really don't know if number 8's ever been solicited or released. There's only 8 issues in them. Finished up my OMAC book, May it rest in peace, number 7. I think there's an awful glare. Number 8. I just need, and I can't find number 6 now, but I've got it here somewhere. So I'll just have to keep an eye out for it. Got the very last comic issue of Supreme that Alan Moore wrote finally. Apparently it was more or less an abandoned script. Eric Larson came on, finished off the story, then I believe he took over in issue 64. So that completes my, I might be missing 1 or 2 issues of the entire Alan Moore Supreme run. Great books. Alright, this book's not really worth that much, but they're drying up quick. It's kind of like the people who have them aren't giving them up or anything. But it's the second appearance of Deadpool. X-Force number 2. Second appearance of Deadpool. So, kind of a rare book. Don't know if I've shown these before. Legion of Superheroes, number 6, from the late 80s. They do 9-panel grids in this, like the Watchmen. It's 5 years later, and EarthGov is just in shambles, and The Legions kind of get back together, but now they're all grown up, and you got to figure out who's who. I mean, I kind of like it. Number 7. Good stuff. Alright, if I am right, this completes my Captain Carrot and his amazing zoo crew. I now have every issue of the Roy Thomas Scott Shaw series from the early 80s. This is number 7. Sort of a Khazar meets Conan kind of character. Balzar, the Barbarian. Great stuff. Alright, oh yeah, let me back up here. Now, all these issues I'm showing you, all these comics from this one back. I went to a comic book convention in Salem last weekend. I went with $10 in my pocket, $2 to get in, so all these comics cost me $8. Okay, from here on out, you know, that would be this, and this. Hulk, Incredible Hulk, the Incredible Hulk 100. It's almost double size, almost looks triple size. Part 1 of 4 of the Allegiance arc of Planet Hulk. To me, the last great Incredible Hulk story that led up to World War Hulk. I put this in a video. X-Men 183. Probably one of my favorite X-Men stories. 2 guys fighting in a bar. Alright, got this. Sandman number 21, Season of the Mist, Chapter 0. This is the first appearance of the Endless. It's in really good shape, except there's a lot of spine stress here and there. You can run your finger and feel it and kind of see it. You know, first appearance of the Sandman family, of the Endless. Never thought I'd find that for as cheap as I got it. I'm very happy. Alright, I was really surprised to get this. This was, you know, sold for an $8 value. This is Powers number 5, back in 2000-2001 by Bendis. To me, you know, Bendis writes crime comics, and I think that's his strength, despite all the comic book and Avengers superhero stories he's been writing. If I remember right, Bendis actually wrote around with cops in order to learn how to write them better. And if you haven't read Powers, I suggest going back to the Image and starting. It's had 2-3 volumes, and about 3 volumes. And it's pretty much Law and Order meets superheroes. They investigate superhero homicides. So, yeah, they even look like, you know, Elliot Benson and Olivia Stabler. Wait a minute. Elliot Stabler and Olivia Benson. You know, it even looks like the Law and Order characters to a certain extent. Alright, got this with the $8 lot. Marvel 2-in-1 presents Thing of the Namor. Marvel 2-in-1 number 2. You got that for a song. Very happy to find this. It's in rough shape. It's a couple pages aren't connected inside. They were still trying to sell this, even though for the shape it's in, for $9. There it is. And it's Werewolf of Night number 13 with Mike Plugart. And the guy that I bought some of this stuff off, he saw me on YouTube. He remembered me from buying Johnny Quest off of him at a flea market a couple years ago, one of my Holy Grail books. He said he got on YouTube, was playing around, just typed in old comics, and the video came up of mine that I bought that showed off the Johnny Quest book that I bought. He said he saw the Holy Grail comic in my title and had to watch it, and about laughed when he saw that it was the Johnny Quest that I bought off of him. So, and got my Eternals number 13. I think I only need about 2 or 3 more issues of this, and I have a complete set. Very happy. And yep, the Comic Jam cover. That's a print. Haha. I got that in the mail today from Captain Strangelove. So awesome. Alright guys, just want to share my comic haul, so catch you later.